Ladies and gentlemen, I recently read a report issued by the UN Special Rapporteur for Iran, Mrs. Asma Jahangir. The first point that affected me very bad is reading this report was how much the Iranian people have suffered in repression during the 38 years of the rule of dictatorship. More than 120,000 executions of political dissidents, street executions, especially the massacre of the 30,000 political prisoners in 1988, whipping, stoning, cutting of hands and feet. I can only say one thing about the Iranian regime, and that is that the only thing in which they do not discriminate is in repression. They don't discriminate in repressing Fars, Arabs, Turks, Baluchs, Turkmens, even men and women. But every time I took part in these conferences and sitting next to you, my hopes grow higher, and I think that the end of the black era of religious tyranny in Iran is getting closer. On the other hand, I must say that your activities for establishing democracy in Iran have angered the Mullah regime. This means that your fight has proved positive results, which is why it made them angry. For the first time when I was attending here, like 5 years ago, meetings with the Iranian opposition, I've been approached in many ways, me and my colleagues from the Romanian parliament, by the Iranian regime not to support you. But since your legitimacy on the one hand and the violation of human rights by the Iranian regime on the other hand have been proved to me, I have not been willing to do so, and I'm proud to say that I will be with you and your leadership until you bring democracy in Iran. Thank you. Please allow me to give you a very short example of what happened last week in Bucharest. Last week in Bucharest, a delegation from the Iranian parliament, from Tehran, supposed to arrive in Bucharest to have meetings with different committees from the Romanian parliament. In the right moment that we heard of this visit, myself and my colleague Senator Benoni Ardelean, which you already know, we approached different colleagues of ours, presidents of the committees from the Romanian parliament, briefing them about the regime in Tehran, about the representatives who were supposed to come in Bucharest to meet them. They were trying to have meetings with committees on foreign affairs, committees on economic, on financing. Let me tell you that on Monday, 11th of December, in the morning when I entered the parliament, I don't know what happened, but the delegation from Iran was not there. They didn't came. It's supposed to be a 3-day meeting in the parliament, but it never took place. So this is just a small example of what we should deal with representatives of Tehran regime. I must say the international community must take away the means of suppression from the dictatorship ruling Iran. The main instrument of this repression is the Revolutionary Guard, directly under the control of Khamenei. The repressive organ has taken hostage Iran's economic arteries, including oil, gas, petrochemicals, mines, and with vast amount of money from national sources and illegal trade of money laundering pays the cost for export of terrorism abroad. On behalf of the Romanian Parliamentarian Committee for Free Iran, I urge the European Union to follow the example of US Treasury, Congress, American Senate to include the Revolutionary Guard in the black terrorist list. So that this repressive organ cannot continue its crimes. Because in the case of trade with the Iranian regime, any economic exchange should be subject to diminishing of human rights violation in Iran and subject to Iran not interfering in other countries. It should not be forgotten they do not understand any language except decisiveness, and it's upon the international community to stand firmly against the Iranian regime and take away all its means of suppression. Today our duty is to support the people of Iran in the Iranian resistance in order to eliminate the greatest global threat. Ladies and gentlemen, from where I stand, I urge all Iranian women and men, especially young ones inside Iran, to continue their protest, to become more active in expanding national protest and solidarity. We support the 10-point plan of President Mariam Rajavi because it's the right plan for the future of Iran. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.